Okay, let's dive into this. To truly retain all 48 laws, we have chunked the source material into 5 core strategic themes to help you digest this dense material. We'll be covering the rules of image, allies, enemies, and masters, deception and concealment, strategic action and timing, and finally, formlessness and adaptability.
Let's start with Section 1, the rules of image. Because in the realm of power, your appearance and reputation are literally the ultimate currency. Here we have 7 critical laws that dictate your outward projection. It all starts with Law 5. Your reputation is the cornerstone of power, so you've got to make it unassailable. From there, you must court attention. Never, ever get lost in the crowd. Laws 25, 34, and 37 are all about forging a commanding identity. Refuse societal roles, carry yourself regally, and use compelling spectacles to really heighten your presence. But, there is a catch. Law 46 warns never to appear too perfect. Displaying harmless vices makes you approachable and actually wards off violent enemies born of envy.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the apparent contradiction here. How do you court attention at all costs while also utilizing absence? Well, the source material reveals a really delicate balance. When you're first establishing yourself, visibility is paramount. You absolutely must be seen. But once your reputation is cemented within a group, constant visibility actually decreases your value. That is exactly when you apply Law 16, strategically withdrawing to create scarcity, thereby making yourself way more admired when you finally return.
Moving on to our second theme, allies, enemies, and masters. Power is deeply relational, and it requires an incredibly objective calculation regarding who to trust and who to crush. These laws focus on the tactical realities of the human ego. Law 1 is incredibly famous for a reason. Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. Outshining them triggers crippling insecurity. Surprisingly, Law 2 warns against the envy of friends, noting that a former enemy often has way more to prove and can actually be more loyal. You also have to protect your own mindset. Look at Law 10. It treats misery as a literal infection that you must avoid. And finally, when you need help, Law 13 reminds us that appealing to gratitude is useless. You must appeal to their self-interest if you want enthusiastic support.
Now, the concepts get a bit darker here, but remember, we're looking at this with absolute neutrality. Gathering intelligence is vital, which is why Law 14 suggests acting as a spy under the guise of friendship. Law 26 is all about maintaining an absolute facade of civility by using scapegoats to disguise your involvement in any messy deeds. And if a group is causing you trouble, Law 42 advises ignoring the followers and instead neutralizing the ringleader. You strike the shepherd and the flock simply falls apart.
So the crucial point is understanding the historical pragmatism behind Law 15. The source material isn't endorsing violence, it's highlighting a strategic concept seen throughout all of history. Stopping halfway in any conflict allows an opponent time to recover, harbor resentment, and plot their revenge. Complete victory is the only way to ensure lasting security.
This brings us to Theme 3, Deception and Concealment. Unpredictability and obscured intentions are basically your ultimate defensive shields.
Methodically explaining these laws, we see how they keep opponents entirely off balance. By concealing your intentions and saying less than necessary, others simply can't formulate a defense against you. You can then use Law 12, making one sincere, honest move, to cover dozens of dishonest ones, dropping their guard. Combine this with Law 21, the brilliant psychological trick of playing dumb and making your target feel smarter than you, and they will never suspect an ulterior motive.
Notice how deeply power relies on observing human psychology here. Law 31, for example, allows you to manipulate situations by offering choices where every single option benefits you. They feel in control, but they're playing with the cards you dealt. Law 33 is about finding the thumbscrew. Everyone has a hidden insecurity or secret pleasure that can be leveraged. And Law 44, the mirror effect, is just uniquely disarming. By perfectly reflecting what your enemies do, they can't figure out your strategy, which completely infuriates them.
Let's take a quick pause here. Are you mastering these strategies of power so far? Because if you're finding this deep dive explainer valuable, remember that it's brought to you by the 10 Minutes Book Summary Definite Books channel. Do us a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe right now so we can keep bringing you rich, quality educational content.
Getting back into it, we shift to Section 4, Strategic Action and Timing. Because having the right psychological posture is one thing, but executing decisive, timely action is what actually secures power.
Let's move to and see how this builds.
Execution really is everything. When you force others to act, like in Law 8, you hold the control. Law 9 emphasizes that winning an argument verbally only breeds resentment. Undeniable actions are far more persuasive. Law 28 warns that timidity is dangerous, so audacious action is required. But notice Law 30. Despite all that bold action, you must conceal the immense toil behind it. Making your accomplishment seem entirely effortless creates this almost godlike aura of invincibility.
These laws require incredible self-discipline. Take Law 40, despising the free lunch. What is offered for free usually comes with hidden obligations, so paying full price keeps you clear of guilt. Similarly, Law 39 requires you to stay objectively calm while stirring the waters to make your enemies angry. And perhaps the most difficult is Law 47, restraining your ego. In victory, arrogance can actually push you past your goal, creating way more enemies than you just defeated. You literally have to learn when to stop.
And this brilliantly illustrates the essence of strategic action. Law 29 isn't just about having a goal, it's about reverse engineering your success. True power lies in total foresight. By accounting for consequences and anticipating twists of fortune in advance, you aren't just reacting to the present moment, you are orchestrating the entire timeline of events.
Finally, we arrive at Theme 5, Formlessness and Adaptability. This section reveals the ultimate paradox of the book. The absolute highest form of structure is actually having no rigid structure at all.
These final laws really deconstruct the idea of traditional defense. Law 18 warns that building a fortress to hide in only cuts you off from valuable information and turns you into a highly visible target. Law 20 advises against committing strictly to any one side. By maintaining your independence, you ensure you remain the master of your own fate. Which leads us to the absolute pinnacle of the book, Law 48.
This quote beautifully captures the overarching philosophy of Law 48. If you assume a rigid form, you give your enemies a target they can study and strike. But by staying dynamic, blending in, and remaining entirely adaptable to the changing circumstances of the world, you achieve the peak of strategic mastery.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, the question remains, how will you wield your power? Will you use this knowledge to defend yourself or to build your own empire? We hope this explainer has given you some profound insights today. Once again, this explainer was created for the 10 Minutes Book Summary Definite Books YouTube channel. If you found value in this breakdown, please make sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more rich quality educational content. Keep learning and stay powerful.